Hello friend, are you ready to take charge of your heart health? Today we're uncovering the top 10 foods that could be silently sabotaging your most vital organ. Heart disease isn't just a statistic, it's the #1 cause of death globally, stealing 18 million lives every single year. That's twice as many lives as cancer takes. Think about that for a moment. From heart attacks, where the heart doesn't get the oxygen it desperately needs, to strokes caused by dangerous clots or brain bleeds, these conditions have one major thing in common. They're deeply connected to the food choices we make every day. By understanding what to avoid, you can take a giant step toward protecting your heart and living a longer, healthier life. So, let's dive in and discover the hidden dangers lurking in some of your favorite foods. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Some of them might surprise you. Number 1. Rice. It's a staple in countless cultures, and for good reason. It's versatile, easy to cook, and pairs well with just about anything. But don't let its innocent reputation fool you. Rice has a sneaky side. It can quietly contribute to heart problems if you're not careful. Let's break it down. Here's the deal. Rice, whether white, brown, or even the trendy black and wild varieties, is pure carbohydrate. And carbohydrates, once inside your body, don't stay in their original form. Instead, they're broken down into glucose, your blood sugar. That glucose then surges into your bloodstream, and your body releases insulin to help shuttle it into your cells. It's like your body's way of turning rice into usable energy. So far, so good, right? Now here's the twist. Eating rice isn't inherently bad. Let's not throw it under the bus just yet. If you consume it in moderation, stay active, and steer clear of pairing it with sugary drinks or processed foods, rice can be perfectly fine. In fact, for centuries, many cultures in Asia thrived on rice-heavy diets. But the key difference? Their lifestyles were vastly different from ours today. Picture this. Historically, people in Asia ate rice as part of a balanced, nutrient-rich diet. They paired it with fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and minimal processed food. Plus, they led highly active lives, farming, walking, and working from sunrise to sunset. Rice was the fuel their bodies needed to keep moving, not the excess baggage that slows us down today. Fast forward to the modern era, and rice finds itself in a much more complicated story. In today's world, rice is often consumed alongside sugary sodas, fried foods, and refined carbs. Worse, it's no longer a supporting character. It's become the main event in a high-carb, low-activity lifestyle. And here's the problem. When you consistently overload your system with glucose from rice and other carbs, your body can't keep up. The result? Insulin resistance. Think of insulin resistance like a traffic jam in your body. Your cells stop responding efficiently to insulin, which makes it harder for glucose to enter and be used for energy. Over time, this leads to inflammation and metabolic stress, prime conditions for heart disease to take root. And once you've developed insulin resistance, rice can make it even harder to reverse the damage. But let's be clear, rice isn't the villain in this story. It's more like a misunderstood character. It only becomes a problem when eaten in excess or as part of a diet overloaded with processed foods and sugars. If you treat rice as an occasional sidekick rather than the star of your plate, you can still enjoy it without putting your heart at risk. The takeaway? Moderation is key. If you love rice, keep it as a part of a balanced meal. Pair it with fiber-rich veggies, healthy fats, and proteins, and aim to stay active. And remember, the simpler and less processed your overall diet, the better your body can handle that occasional bowl of rice. So, enjoy it, but make sure it's working for you, not against you. Food number 2, bread, the ultimate comfort food. Whether it's a fluffy white loaf, a crusty baguette, or a slice of healthy whole grain, bread has been a dietary staple for centuries. It's warm, it's versatile, and it's undeniably delicious. But here's the thing. When it comes to your health, bread is like that charming friend who's secretly a bad influence. It's comforting on the surface, but it can wreak havoc behind the scenes. Let's start with the basics. Bread, just like rice, is loaded with starch. Once you eat it, your body breaks that starch down into glucose, causing your blood sugar to rise. And whenever your blood sugar spikes, your body has to release insulin to bring things back to normal. If this happens occasionally, it's not a big deal. But if bread is a regular guest at your table, those constant blood sugar surges can overwhelm your system and pave the way to insulin resistance, the root of many metabolic and heart-related issues. But bread doesn't stop there. It also brings gluten to the party. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, and while it doesn't bother everyone, it's a major irritant for many people. For some, it triggers full-blown allergies or celiac disease. For others, it causes milder gut sensitivities that often go unnoticed. Here's the catch. Even if you don't have a diagnosed gluten allergy, bread can still affect your gut health. And when your gut isn't happy, your body isn't happy. Why does gut health matter so much? Because your gut is like the control center for inflammation in your body. If it's irritated, whether from gluten, processed foods, or poor dietary habits, it can send inflammatory signals throughout your system, system. Chronic inflammation is a known driver of cardiovascular disease, making bread's impact on your gut a serious concern for your heart. And let's not forget the trendier, gluten-free breads. At first glance, they might seem like the healthier option, but many of them are just as problematic. Instead of wheat, they're often made with starches like rice flour, tapioca, or sorghum, all of which break down into glucose just as easily. So swapping out regular bread for gluten-free bread might avoid the gluten, but it doesn't solve the blood sugar problem. Here's the real kicker. Bread is everywhere. It's not just in sandwiches and toast. It sneaks into our meals in the form of bagels, muffins, pizza crusts, and even breaded coatings on foods. Cutting it out might seem daunting at first, but the benefits for your gut, your inflammation levels, and your heart health are worth it. So, what's the takeaway? Bread doesn't have to be your enemy, but it definitely shouldn't be your best friend. If you're serious about improving your health, consider cutting back or eliminating it altogether. Your gut will thank you, your inflammation levels will decrease, and your heart will be much happier. And if you can't imagine life without bread, try limiting it to special occasions and look for minimally processed, whole grain options to minimize the damage. Remember, what you put on your plate today shapes the health of your future. Bread might be comforting, but your long-term health should take priority over that fleeting slice of satisfaction. Number 3. Alcohol, a drink that's been celebrated, debated, and toasted for centuries. From celebratory champagne to a casual glass of wine with dinner, alcohol has become a staple of social and cultural life around the world. But while it might bring a moment of joy or relaxation, it's important to understand the toll it can take on your health, especially your heart. Let's start with the good news. Alcohol in small amounts isn't inherently bad for you. In fact, your body is equipped with enzymes, like alcohol dehydrogenase, specifically designed to process it. These enzymes break down alcohol so your body can safely eliminate it. The problem arises when you drink too much or too often, overwhelming your liver, the only organ that can process alcohol. Here's where things get tricky. When your liver gets overloaded with alcohol, it starts to struggle. One of the earliest warning signs is a condition called fatty liver. Think of your liver as the body's central processing hub. It's responsible for detoxifying your blood, metabolizing nutrients, and breaking down substances like alcohol. But when it's constantly working overtime, it begins storing fat, leading to fatty liver disease. And here's the kicker. Fatty liver isn't just a liver problem, it has ripple effects throughout your body. Fatty liver is a major driver of insulin resistance, a condition where your cells stop responding properly to insulin. This leads to higher blood sugar levels, increased inflammation, and a cascade of metabolic issues. And guess what? Insulin resistance is one of the key factors that sets the stage for heart disease. So that extra drink isn't just hard on your liver, it's putting your heart at risk too. Now let's talk about the drinks themselves. A glass of red wine here and there is often touted as healthy because it contains antioxidants like resveratrol. But keep in mind, the benefits of moderate drinking are limited, and the line between moderate and excessive is thinner than most people think. Sugary cocktails, mixed drinks, and heavy drinking are far more problematic. They not only burden your liver with alcohol, but also add a hefty dose of sugar, doubling the workload. Sugar, particularly fructose, found in high fructose corn syrup and sweeteners, is processed in your liver just like alcohol. Yes, that soda or sweetened cocktail is essentially making your liver work overtime in the same way as booze. The result? The same pathways that lead to fatty liver, insulin resistance, and heart disease are triggered. And let's not forget the calories. Alcohol is calorie dense, but these are empty calories. They offer no nutritional value while still contributing to weight gain and metabolic strain. Pair that with the fact that alcohol can lower inhibitions, leading to overeating or poor food choices, and it's easy to see how it becomes a recipe for disaster. So, what's the takeaway? If you enjoy alcohol, moderation is everything. A glass of wine with dinner or a celebratory toast won't derail your health, but heavy drinking or sugary cocktails can. When you do drink, choose wisely. Pure spirits like gin, vodka, or whiskey are lower in sugar than cocktails, and red wine can be a better option for its potential health benefits. And always remember, less is more when it comes to alcohol. Your liver is your body's unsung hero, tirelessly working to keep you healthy. Treat it with care and you'll do your heart and the rest of your body a big favor. Number 4, ultra-processed foods. Let's talk about ultra-processed foods, those colorful, shiny packages that fill entire aisles at the grocery store. From chips to frozen meals to those oh-so-tempting snack bars, ultra-processed foods have become the backbone of the modern diet. But here's the harsh reality. These foods are far from harmless. They're engineered to be addictive, convenient, and tasty. But beneath that glossy exterior, they're wreaking havoc on your body. Here's a staggering statistic. 73% of the average American diet is made up of ultra-processed foods. Think Think about that for a moment. That means nearly 3/4 of what most people eat isn't real, whole food. Instead, it's a concoction of stripped-down ingredients, refined carbs, industrial oils, and artificial additives, all mixed together to create products that barely resemble actual food. What makes ultra-processed foods so bad? First, they're stripped of nutrients during processing. The vitamins, minerals, and fiber that your body craves are often removed to make the food shelf-stable. Then, to make up for the lack of flavor and texture, manufacturers add preservatives, stabilizers, and flavor enhancers. These additives don't just make the food taste better, they're specifically designed to keep you coming back for more. And let's not forget the heavy doses of sugar, unhealthy fats, and salt that make these foods practically irresistible. The result? Overeating. Ultra-processed foods are engineered to bypass your body's natural stop-eating signals. They trick your brain into thinking you're still hungry, leading to excessive calorie consumption. But the damage doesn't stop there. These foods also promote inflammation and disrupt your body's metabolic balance, clogging up the pathways that keep you healthy. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, a major driver of heart disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. And let's not sugarcoat this, literally. The sugar content in ultra-processed foods is off the charts. From cereals to sauces, sugar is often hidden in plain sight under names like high-fructose corn syrup, dextrose, or even organic cane sugar. Combine this with harmful fats like hydrogenated oils, and your body is left dealing with a toxic cocktail that fuels metabolic chaos. So, what's the solution? The antidote to ultra-processed foods is real, whole foods, the kind of foods your great-grandparents would recognize. Think fresh vegetables, fruits, quality meats, eggs, fish, and nuts. These foods are naturally nutrient-rich and don't need a long ingredient list to be delicious. They fuel your body, not clog it. Switching away from ultra-processed foods might seem overwhelming at first, especially since they're everywhere, from the grocery store to your favorite restaurant. But even small changes can make a huge difference. Start by swapping out processed snacks for whole food options. Choose fresh ingredients over pre-packaged meals. And most importantly, be mindful of what's in your food. Check labels, and if you can't pronounce half the ingredients, it's probably better to leave it on the shelf. Remember, every bite you take is a choice between nourishing your body or slowly poisoning it. The convenience of ultra-processed foods isn't worth the long-term cost to your health. Real food isn't just better, it's the key to a healthier, happier you. Number 5, fast food, the king of convenience. It's quick, it's cheap, and it's everywhere. Need a meal in 5 minutes? Drive-through. Craving a salty snack? Vending machine. But while fast food might look like real food, don't let appearances fool you. A typical fast food meal is the ultimate bad combo, pulling together all the dietary villains: sugary buns, deep-fried starches, highly processed meats, and of course, sugary sodas. It's like a who's who of everything you shouldn't be eating. And those fries? Oh, they're not just innocent potatoes. They're drenched in industrial seed oils, cooked at high heat, and then, brace yourself, those oils are reused over and over again, becoming more toxic with each batch. You're not just eating fries, you're eating a dose of oxidative stress. And let's talk about those sugary buns. Sure, they hold the burger together, but they're also pure starch, which your body quickly converts into glucose. This floods your bloodstream with sugar, sending your insulin levels sky high. Add a soda to the mix, and you're essentially giving your liver a 1-2 punch of fructose and glucose, overloading your system and setting the stage for insulin resistance. Now, about those processed meats. They're often loaded with preservatives, sodium, and even sugar. Yes, sugar in meat, making them far from the protein-packed staples they're marketed to be. Instead of nourishing your body, these meats contribute to inflammation, a key driver of heart disease and other chronic conditions. And that's before we even get to the sauces and dressings, which are often loaded with unhealthy fats and, you guessed it, more sugar. But the real problem with fast food isn't just the individual ingredients. It's the cumulative effect of eating it regularly. These meals flood your body with calories, carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats while providing little to no nutritional value. Over time, this overwhelms your metabolic system, promoting inflammation, oxidative stress, and, you guessed it, insulin resistance. It's a perfect storm that primes your body for heart disease, obesity, and a host of other health problems. And here's the kicker. Fast food is designed to be addictive. The salt, sugar, and fat work together to light up the reward centers in your brain, making you crave more. That's why it's so easy to grab another burger, order those extra fries, or add that milkshake to your meal. It's not just convenience, it's chemistry. So, So, what can you do? First, recognize fast food for what it is, a once-in-a-while indulgence, not a dietary staple. If you're in a pinch and absolutely must eat fast food, look for the least processed options. Think grilled chicken, hold the sugary sauces, or a side salad, skip the dressing. Better yet, plan ahead and pack a meal or snack from home. Your body will thank you. Fast food might save you time, but it'll cost you in the long run. Your health is worth more than a 5-minute fix. So, next time you're tempted by the golden arches or the smell of fries, ask yourself, is it worth the metabolic chaos? Your heart and your future self deserve better. Number 6, seed oils. Let's talk about seed oils, the silent saboteurs lurking in so many of the foods we eat. At first glance, they might sound harmless. After all, they're made from plants, and plants are good for you, right? Well, not so fast. Seed oils like soybean, corn, and canola oil are some of the most heavily processed and nutritionally imbalanced fats you can consume. They're sneaky, pervasive, and most importantly, bad news for your health. Here's the lowdown. Seed oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, and while omega-6 isn't inherently bad, balance is everything. Your body needs both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids, ideally in a 1-to-1 ratio. But thanks to seed oils, the typical modern diet skews that ratio to as high as 20-to-1 in favor of omega-6. Why does this matter? Because omega-6 in excess is pro-inflammatory, while omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. When the scales tip too far toward omega-6, chronic inflammation takes hold. And inflammation is a key driver of heart disease, diabetes, and a host of other chronic conditions. But it's not just the omega-6 content that's the problem. The way these oils are made is enough to make your body cringe. Extracting oil from seeds isn't easy. Unlike olives or coconuts, which are naturally rich in fat, seeds require high heat, intense pressure, and often chemical solvents like hexane to extract the oil. These harsh methods not only strip the oil of nutrients, but also leave it oxidized and rancid long before it ever reaches your plate. Imagine starting with something questionable and then making it worse. That's what seed oils are. And don't be fooled by the labels. Even when they're marketed as heart healthy or light, seed oils are anything but. Unlike natural, minimally processed oils like extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil, which retain their nutrients and are stable at high heat, seed oils are unstable and prone to oxidation. This means they create free radicals in your body, unstable molecules that wreak havoc on your cells and contribute to oxidative stress, aging, and inflammation. Here's the real kicker. Seed oils are everywhere. They're in processed foods, salad dressings, mayonnaise, baked goods, and even so-called healthy snacks. That granola bar, probably loaded with canola oil, those veggie chips, likely fried in soybean oil. And don't even get me started on fast food fries. So what's the solution? First, know your oils. Stick to natural, minimally processed fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, or even good old-fashioned butter. These fats are stable, nutrient-rich, and far less inflammatory. Second, check labels religiously. If you see soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, or vegetable oil listed, put it back on the shelf. And finally, cook at home whenever possible. It's the best way to control what goes into your food. Seed oils might be everywhere, but you don't have to let them control your diet. By making smarter choices and prioritizing real whole foods, you can sidestep these sneaky oils and protect your health. Remember, the oils you choose aren't just fuel for your body, they're building blocks for every cell you have. Number 7, fried foods. Crispy, golden, and oh so tempting. Whether it's fries, onion rings, or crispy chicken, there's something universally irresistible about food that's been dropped into a sizzling vat of oil. But here's the truth. Fried foods are more than just guilty pleasures. They're a fast track to inflammation, oxidative stress, and long-term damage to your health. The problem with fried foods isn't just that they're cooked in oil, it's what kind of oil is being used and how it's treated. Most fried foods are cooked in seed oils like soybean, corn, or canola oil. These oils, as we've already discussed, are heavily processed, high in omega-6 fatty acids, and unstable under heat. Now imagine heating these oils to high temperatures over and over again. The result? They oxidize, breaking down into harmful compounds that your body struggles to eliminate. Reheating is where things go from bad to worse. In many fast food chains and restaurants, the same batch of oil is reused repeatedly, sometimes for an entire day or longer. Each reheating cycle further degrades the oil, releasing toxic byproducts like aldehydes and acrylamide, which are linked to inflammation and oxidative stress. It's like starting with something bad and turning it into something truly toxic. And then there's the high heat used in frying. When oils are heated to extreme temperatures, they undergo chemical changes that create harmful compounds. These compounds don't just stay in the oil, they latch onto the food itself, turning your fries or chicken into little delivery vehicles for oxidative stress. Over time, this kind of stress damages your cells, accelerates aging, and promotes chronic conditions like heart disease. But it doesn't stop there. Fried foods are a double whammy because they combine unhealthy oils with other harmful ingredients. Most fried foods are also high in refined carbs and starches. Think batter-coated chicken or breaded onion rings. When these refined carbs meet the high heat of frying, they form advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These AGEs contribute to inflammation, oxidative stress, and insulin resistance. Now, does this mean you can never enjoy something crispy again? Not at all. The key is to make smarter choices about how you fry food. If you must fry, choose stable fats like lard, tallow, or coconut oil. These fats are naturally resistant to oxidation and can handle higher temperatures without breaking down into harmful compounds. They're also far less inflammatory than seed oils, making them a much better choice for your health. Another option is to rethink frying altogether. Air fryers, for example, can deliver that crispy texture you crave without the need for unhealthy oils. Or try oven baking with a light coating of olive oil or avocado oil for a healthier alternative. At the end of the day, fried foods don't have to be entirely off the menu, but they should be an occasional indulgence, not a regular habit. By being mindful of what oils you're using and how often you're frying, you can enjoy the crunch without compromising your health. 8. Margarine, the so-called healthier alternative to butter. For decades, margarine has been paraded as the heart-friendly choice, praised for being low in saturated fat and cholesterol. But what if I told you that margarine is more of a wolf in sheep's clothing? Beneath its smooth, spreadable surface lies a cocktail of harmful substances that can do more harm than good. Let's start with how margarine is made. Unlike butter, which comes from cream, margarine is created in a lab from hydrogenated oils. This process, known as hydrogenation, turns liquid vegetable oils into solid fats by forcing hydrogen atoms into their molecular structure. Sounds scientific? It is, and not in a good way. Hydrogenation creates trans fats, which are some of the most toxic substances you can put in your body. What's so bad about trans fats? Let's break it down. These altered fats disrupt your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside your cells that produce energy. Think of your mitochondria as the engines that keep your body running. When you consume trans fats, it's like throwing sand into those engines. The result? Sluggish energy production, inflammation, and metabolic chaos. Over time, this damage contributes to a laundry list of health problems, including heart disease, insulin resistance, and even cognitive decline. Now, you might be thinking, but aren't trans fats banned? And you'd be partially right. In many countries, the use of trans fats has been restricted or banned altogether. But here's the loophole. Margarine often still contains partially hydrogenated oils in trace amounts. Manufacturers are allowed to label products as trans fat-free as long as the amount per serving is below 0.5 grams. That might sound tiny, but those trace amounts add up quickly if margarine is a regular part of your diet. And don't be fooled by marketing. Many brands now advertise margarine as being made with heart-healthy oils like olive or avocado oil. While that sounds great, it's often misleading. These products still use processed vegetable oils, and the olive or avocado oil content is often minimal. The reality is, margarine remains a highly processed product that's far removed from anything natural or nourishing. So what's the alternative? The answer is simple. Go back to basics. Real butter, made from cream, is a far better choice. Despite years of demonization, butter contains natural, stable fats that your body knows how to process. Plus, it's free from the harmful trans fats and additives found in margarine. If you're looking for something plant-based, extra virgin olive oil is another excellent option. It's rich in healthy monounsaturated fats and antioxidants that support your heart and overall health. The bottom line? Margarine is a product of outdated dietary advice that vilified natural fats in favor of highly processed alternatives. By choosing real, minimally processed fats like butter or olive oil, you can nourish your body without exposing it to the harmful effects of trans fats and hydrogenated oils. Number 9. Donuts. Let's talk about donuts, the sweet, fluffy, perfectly glazed temptations that practically call your name from the bakery display. They might look cute and harmless with their sprinkles and frosting, but don't let appearances fool you. Donuts aren't just junk food. They're a metabolic disaster wrapped in sugar and fried dough. Why are donuts so problematic? Because they combine almost every harmful ingredient you can think of. First, there's the refined flour, which is essentially pure starch that spikes your blood sugar the moment it hits your system. Then comes the sugar, which is often present in both the dough and the glaze, giving you a double dose of sweetness your liver doesn't need. And let's not forget the gluten, which can irritate your gut and contribute to inflammation. But wait, there is more. Donuts are deep fried, and not just in any oil, but in the worst kind, seed oils like soybean or canola. These oils are unstable at high temperatures and break down into toxic compounds during the frying process. And here again, those oils are often reused repeatedly, making them even more oxidized and harmful by the time they coat your donut. It's like taking something bad and making it even worse. And then there's the cherry on top, literally. Donuts are loaded with artificial flavors, colors, and preservatives designed to make them irresistible. These additives not only make donuts more addictive, but also add another layer of chemicals your body has to process. If you were trying to invent the ultimate junk food to wreak havoc on your metabolism, donuts would be a top contender. So, what happens when you indulge in 1 or 2 or 3? Your blood sugar skyrockets, triggering a flood of insulin to bring it back down. That sugar high might feel good for a moment, but it's followed by a crash that leaves you craving even more sugar. Meanwhile, the refined flour and seed oils are fueling inflammation and oxidative stress, two key drivers of heart disease. Over time, these effects contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain, and a higher risk of cardiovascular problems. But here's the tricky part. Donuts are engineered to be addictive. The perfect balance of sugar, fat, and salt lights up the reward centers in your brain, making it almost impossible to stop at just one. It's not just a treat. It's a carefully crafted experience designed to keep you coming back for more. So, what's the takeaway? Donuts might look innocent, but if you're serious about protecting your heart and your health, it's best to steer clear of these sugary, fried temptations. And if you do indulge occasionally, consider it a rare treat rather than a regular habit. Remember, there are plenty of ways to satisfy your sweet tooth without putting your body through the metabolic roller coaster that donuts bring. Choose options made with real, whole ingredients, and your body will thank you in the long run. Number 10, sugar. The final boss of unhealthy foods. Sweet, sneaky, and seemingly everywhere, sugar has earned its place as the ultimate health saboteur. It hides in plain sight, lurking in sodas, sauces, cereals, and even healthy snacks. But don't let its sweetness fool you. Sugar is one of the most destructive substances you can put in your body. What makes sugar so harmful? Let's start with its starring role in insulin resistance. Sugar is quickly broken down into glucose, flooding your bloodstream and triggering your pancreas to release insulin. Over time, constant sugar consumption overloads this system, causing your cells to stop responding to insulin properly. The result? Insulin resistance, the metabolic condition that sets the stage for weight gain, inflammation, type 2 diabetes, and, of course, heart disease. But there's another player in this sugar story, fructose, the type of sugar found in high fructose corn syrup and many sweeteners. Unlike glucose, which is used by nearly every cell in your body for energy, fructose takes a different route. It heads straight to your liver. And here's where things go wrong. Fructose is metabolized in the liver much like alcohol, and in excess, it promotes fat storage. Over time, this leads to fatty liver disease, which disrupts your metabolic balance and increases your risk of heart disease. Here's the scary part. Sugar doesn't just harm your body physically, it messes with your brain too. Sugar is highly addictive, lighting up the same reward centers in your brain as drugs like cocaine. This makes it easy to overconsume, especially since sugar doesn't trigger the same fullness signals that other foods do. Ever notice how you can polish off a soda or a bag of candy and still feel hungry? That's sugar's sneaky way of keeping you hooked. And let's not forget sugar's starring role in inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a key driver of cardiovascular disease, and sugar fuels it like gasoline on a fire. It's not just the visible effects like weight gain that make sugar harmful, it's the silent damage happening on a cellular level. So where is all this sugar coming from? It's not just in the obvious places like desserts and soda. Sugar is hiding in almost every processed food you can think of. Salad dressings, yogurt, bread, ketchup, and even so-called health foods. A single tablespoon of barbecue sauce, for example, often contains more sugar than a cookie. And don't be fooled by labels like organic cane sugar or natural sweetener. At the end of the day, sugar is sugar, and your body treats it all the same. Cutting back on sugar is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your heart and improve your overall health. Start by swapping out sugary drinks for water, unsweetened tea, or sparkling water with a splash of lime. Read labels carefully and choose whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible. Your taste buds might resist at first, but over time you'll start to appreciate the natural sweetness in fruits and other whole foods. Sugar isn't just a harmless treat, it's a major player in the global rise of chronic diseases. By taking control of your sugar intake, you're giving your body the chance to heal, recover, and thrive. Remember, this journey isn't just about memorizing a list. It's about truly understanding how these foods impact your body and health. By steering clear of the real culprits behind heart disease, you'll discover that some of the foods you've been told to avoid, like butter, eggs, or fatty cuts of meat, can actually be powerful allies in your health transformation. If this breakdown opened your eyes, imagine what's coming next. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop for more life-changing insights. Your health journey doesn't stop here. It's just getting started. And before you go, why not keep the momentum going? Check out the next video waiting for you. It's packed with more tips and strategies to help you take control of your health and thrive. Together, let's master health, one step at a time. See you in the next video.